Xayah here's Misfits and just trade Elise for Rek'Sai and you still get a good jungler. But I don't think Xayah Rakan for every team in Europe is still considered that insane priority. And you see it from Misfits, they are taking the Elise despite other good junglers being available.
Well, Nuclear and Chei, they got themselves a 2v2 kill on Hans Summer and IgNar in the bottom lane with that Braum option.
I think you can go Rakan only if you just want. You don't have to go Xayah and Rakan specifically, and you can still pair Rakan with other AD carries. But in this game here, H2K is saying just log in the safe Braum pick. Clearly, it is a high priority pick for Chei. Some supports really love Braum right now. Other supports don't really use him too much. It is just basically up to the different players.
Well, so far, Braum and Chei are undefeated in Summer. They are 3-0. It is once again an Ashe for Nuclear. So the same bottom lane, it worked well enough. Nuclear ended up having the kills in that final team fight to win the game.
And we have to remember the playstyle for H2K is very focused around mid lane and top lane. Yeah. It's not necessarily Jankos camping the bottom lane. So they're picking a very safe 2v2 lane that will have value at all stages in the game after level 6, which is kind of the key turning point for H2K. So we might get the Xayah Rakan. At least we have Rakan locked in for now, which often signals Xayah will show up, or Kalista. Those are kind of the two AD carries we see paired the most with Rakan.
And so exciting. Both support players on their respective champions are undefeated. Deficio.
One game for IgNar.
1-0. I am technically correct, the best kind of correct. And look at that. Cheers for the 1-0.
Or for the Xayah.
Definitely
we don't know.
Not the Xayah.
We will never find out.
The lovers in game and the lovers on the caster desk. H2K, they can lock in their jungler now and leave those solo laners for phase 2, just like game 1.
Yeah, if they want the Rek'Sai once again, they gotta pick it now, otherwise it should get banned away by Misfits Gaming. Other choices go mid lane and then ban out 2 mid laners from PowerOfEvil now that you already removed the LeBlanc, and you can try and really pinch his champion pool. And that is what they decide to do.
All right, so locking in the Corki. Pretty difficult to find a counter matchup into that.
So Cassiopeia is the one we should see banned by H2K, which got banned right there.
Kog'Maw?
I mean, you can for safety. It is PowerOfEvil after all. So it wouldn't be a terrible ban by any means, but I don't think it's like a super hard counter that means you're just doomed as a Corki. So
Kog'Maw and Galio top, and Alphari silences the critics playing a tank and doing
he's not going to play Galio top. He's not. That's the, I mean, the other one might happen, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to see the Galio. So we did say Rek'Sai would get banned if H2K did not pick it.
Yep.
If you are Misfits Gaming, you can even ban Lee Sin if you want to just try and push Jankos here onto an even lower tier jungler.
I mean, would he just go Warwick?
Yeah, man, that's Kha'Zix still. So there's plenty of good picks for Jankos to be useful. A trashy, not trashy, Gragas jungle. Just associated that with trashy. Not based on appearance, but based on the fact he plays it all the time.
Definitely summer 2016 trashy, not yesterday.
So I mean, Gragas is also available as a jungle pick for H2K.
I'm having some fun with this one today, Deficio. The last ban from Misfits, they've got 5 seconds if we're not expecting a jungler, maybe top lane focus. Renekton's already taken away, and there goes the Galio, so Odo's not going to get that safe frontline option for his 2 ADCs.
And kind of tells us we might get the Alphari Rumble once more. Of course, H2K can take the Rumble on their own now that they've already removed the Galio from Misfits Gaming, but other picks, like we saw the Camille hover from Odoamne last time around. I don't know if he wants to just early pick it, that would be a little bit strange, but they do go for that trashy in the jungle, the Gragas.
Let's see what sort of barrels Jankos can hit this time round, leaving their top lane to counter pick for Odo, and this will allow Alphari to lock in Rumble, as you mentioned already.
And if Rumble comes in now, we might just see Odoamne take the Gragas top lane. It's okay for him, and then you can still, actually last pick, if you have something crazy in mind for your jungle pick. So surprise, surprise, there is the Rumble. Now with Cassiopeia being removed, like Kassadin is another pick we can see against Corki. Lucian mid is also a fine matchup against Corki specifically. LeBlanc is banned, we have to remember that.
Syndra, no.
I mean, you can always go Syndra here.
PowerOfEvil's played so many champions this split already.
Seems like we might get the Lucian.
And it's going to be an AD carry. It's not the one I wanted, but I'll accept the Lucian. And AD carries in the mid lane. We've gone all the way back to Season 1, Deficio. Not quite, but yes.
Sure.
Odo. All right.
He really wants to play this Camille, clearly, seeing as they're hovering it randomly from Chei. Let's see if he actually wants to lock it in, or just take the Gragas top lane. You pick a jungler instead. That's
what do you prefer? And it's going to be the Camille.
I quite like it. I want to see the split push priority be in favor of Odoamne. Last game it was LeBlanc from PowerOfEvil kind of controlling the one side lane. Now it will be Odoamne on this Camille. Early laning phase can be a bit tricky against the Rumble, but once you get 1 or 2 items under your belt, you take over that side lane very, very, very easily. So Misfits Gaming this time packing quite a lot of tools to engage with. Like I always, like just by looking at Rakan, I'm like, that man alone brings multiple ways for you to start a fight. Obviously there are other ones, is you have Cocoon coming in from Elise, and then Rumble ulti to kind of start the fight with a slow into then the engage from Rakan. And I think if you are Misfits Gaming in this game here, like the amount of damage you're running with, like you have burst from Elise, you have damage from your top laner, your mid laner, your AD carry, like 4 members on the side of Misfits can more or less destroy a squishy member in like 1 or 2 seconds from H2K.
It's very, very exciting. A lot of damage on both sides, and let's see who's going to put it down first. We saw the fan vote as we were loading up into picks and bans here, and H2K marginally ahead. It was around, what, 58% to 42%. Of course, they won game 1, so that's going to allow the cheaters on Twitter to influence it. Misfits Gaming, the dynamic duo, the lovers in the bottom lane. Summer and IgNar to bounce back against Nuclear and Chei to even out this series. Summer definitely wants to play in Paris, definitely wants to make it to those top 4. Let's see if he can start that path, make it look even stronger with the win here today.
So let's see this game here. Maxlore on Elise this time around. They didn't ban it, they first picked it instead. If you are looking at early ganks, a Corki is not an easy target to go for due to his Valkyrie, but you can go bot lane with Rakan, combine the CC from Elise and Rakan, or you can try and go top lane early against Camille. But one thing Camille, even after nerfs, still managed to do well in lane is escape some of these ganks.
Yeah.
Her mobility is fantastic, even level 6 with the ulti, which is a small little chance that she can dodge things as well. So it's a little bit tricky for Maxlore. He doesn't have the greatest solo laners to set up a gank for him. But if he does manage to succeed with a gank, he has 2 champions in Lucian and Rumble that really can start taking over the mid game.
All right, what do you think of this bottom lane matchup? We can see some trading as Chei and IgNar were facing off. I mean, Xayah Rakan into Ashe Braum kind of feels like there's some tools for H2K to deal with them.
I mean, basically what you want against Xayah is long-range AD carries. Caitlyn is the best, but Ashe obviously still with volley as well. Can do quite well there. It's not exactly a counter matchup. Braum is there once again to try and turn it into a farm lane. But that's kind of the thing. If you play Xayah Rakan, you should almost always be able to try and force a play. And if you can't win 2v2, you can call down your well, you can still play it, Trevor, but you can call down your jungler. You can combine it with a teleport coming in from your top laner, and that's kind of what I want to see from Misfits. Because this Braum here with exhaust can make it difficult for Rakan and Xayah to kill the Ashe, but again, you have teammates.
Yeah, and so much more exciting when those top laners do decide to join. Rumble, Camille, both going to be jumping into the fray.
Exactly. I cannot think of a single player. I see an engage actually ends up being just
grand entrance onto Nuclear. Sorry, Hero's entrance. No,
but again,
sorry, grand entrance.
I cannot think of a single player, might be a former pro player right now, who does not like the 5-man parties in the bot lane. Like, have you ever heard anyone complain about that?
A little bit, as right now there's no party yet.
Ignore, you gotta hit those, ban, otherwise don't go in.
All right, Nuclear's gonna turn the stun around. You mentioned the 5-man party in the bot lane. Maxlore, his Elise, might be one of the guys joining that party. Really good performance last week on that champion. And definitely something that we were talking about because we said, can he play not Lee Sin? And Elise is yes.
Of course. I mean, Maxlore has been doing well in the Legends. I was about to talk about him maybe going for early tower dives. That is what you can do with Elise due to your repel. And Camille is very squishy early. She is taking a lot of poke damage. I actually think they can execute this one and secure the kill and also get out alive. But a good ward from Odoamne kind of reading the situation. Is what we mentioned in Champ Select. Camille will struggle early on in this lane. Perma pushing from the Rumble.
Needs a couple of items.
He's gone back in!
Odo decided to go in. Respect flashes the Cocoon. There's a minion wave coming up, so he's still under threat.
Yeah, but the reason he's going back in is because if he loses 2 or 3 waves in the early game, he's basically out of the lane. So he actually valued the experience over having a flash, but now he's actually looking for a trade.
Tactical sweep there from Odo. Put the fear into Alphari, and now they're both flashless.
It's also the fact that Jankos did show up, and if Jankos had charged up that body slam, he could have combined it with flash to actually get onto Alphari, and Alphari couldn't have flashed away instantly. So he respects the fact that Jankos shows up. But again, Odoamne valued the experience over keeping his flash, and that's simply so he didn't fall too far behind his lane to do anything.
All right.
I like that move from Jankos as well. Kill the blast cone, making it harder for Maxlore to get into that little brush.
Especially when you know Maxlore has got a flashless target and the ability to tower dive nearly flawlessly. The threat is not over yet. The observers have highlighted H2K vision. Yeah, Maxlore's going to try sneak his way into this next bush, but the wave, no, takes it a step back instead.
Again, we did nerf Camille a lot. She got a small buff on 712. Mainly the important one here is her passive, a lower cooldown on the shield. Can help in the early game, but she still will get pushed in by this Rumble over and over. And Jankos needs to tower dive her to actually kill her at this point. Sorry, Maxlore needs to tower dive onto Odoamne.
Are we expecting Hex Drinker first for Odo into something? Is it risky? Is it not something you look at?
So Hex Drinker as an item, a lot of players don't really like it too much. Let's talk about it after, because it's actually going mid.
Okay, Febiven, can he get away from the entrance? Oh, but he's going to jump into Alphari. Literally everything is missing.
No, you're alone.
Done. He's got Ignite available, but there's a cocoon onto Jankos. First blood picked up by PowerOfEvil. He flashes forward. Exhaust goes down. The Light Slinger passive gets a double kill.
So with the push in the bottom lane, Misfits roam the support to mid. The top laner roams from the top side as well. So due to Misfits having push in multiple lanes in the early game, they can make this play here in the mid lane. Febiven was on his way out. IgNar ended up diving super deep without backup. But then Jankos got caught and died. Top lane now, Odoamne is pushing.
Oh no, this might be, oh no! He's going to use that wall shot to get out. The cocoon needs to connect if anything further happens, and he does at max range, committing to the tower dive. Alphari tanks 1, 2, and 3 shots, and they make that look easy.
I did not expect the max range cocoon to land onto Odoamne here, but he had to juke backwards to try and avoid it. But then have instantly been hit by Alphari, and maybe some harpoons slowing him down. Let's see the mid lane again. So Febi gets attacked by multiple members. At this point here, IgNar dives in on his own, and Alphari with no flash couldn't actually follow. But the fact that Jankos then walks in, completely disrespects all the guys around and dies, and then Febi chases a bit for that 1 kill, it actually means Misfits ends up getting 2 kills. This could have been a situation where H2K could have gotten out without losing anyone.
Yeah.
But also full credit to Misfits for using pushing lanes to go for an aggressive play in mid and then executing it in the end.
And PowerOfEvil gets the blue buff as well, thanks to taking out Jankos. Going to be super beneficial for him. After that early trade between Odo and Alphari and the respective junglers, now all of a sudden Alphari's got 3 assists to his name, got some armor under his belt already, and that's just going to set him up really nicely going forward.
Yeah, really the only positive thing here for H2K is the fact that Odoamne has been getting experience, so he's even with Alphari, but he's still died now once. He's just hit level 6 on Camille. You can actually start combining a play with the Gragas for maybe a gank where you can take down Alphari, but really that play in mid gave over a lot of gold to Misfits.
It did indeed. It's going to delay Odo's ability to scale up as well, ever so slightly. And Maxlore can look to just repeat gank in the next few minutes. Odo's now got the ultimatum. It's a little more challenging. And he's got his will have his flash available relatively soon.
And here's that Elise going top lane.
Flame Splitter going out there, puts down the Odo puts down the Hextech ultimatum. He's trying to run for his life. Flashes a few seconds away. Electro Harpoon tags, wall shot, and escapes for Odo.
All right, Odoamne gets away there. Nice escape from him. Bot lane Chei is extremely low. As we talked about this Xayah Rakan combo trying to force plays. Chei's basically has to try and save his AD carry and make sure he can farm. And that is about it for H2K's bottom lane.
Yeah, Hansama actually, Featherstorm is on cooldown. IgNar's Ignite as well, but they got the flash, the exhaust, and the heal. Maxlore's able to steal away the red buff. And Misfits maintain control of the game with a 2,000 gold lead. And
whenever I want to talk about that Hex Stringer you asked about some time ago, there's a potential setup where something could happen. It looks like Jankos is spotted, so they just have to back away. But the issue here, issue with Hexdrinker is it delays your core build, and a lot of these top lane split pushers, they really rely on getting 1 to 2 fully completed strong items to be impactful in the game. Hexdrinker just delays that.
Right.
Even though it actually will look very good against Rumble Elise as a combo with the magic damage shield, I think for Odoamne, if he wants to go for it, it's simply because he's saying, okay, I'm under so much pressure that they're just going to keep killing me, and this is bad. But ideally, you want to just save that gold and just go straight towards your Trinity Force and your Hydra.
Well, that looks to be the scenario. Misfits were the first to rotate their duo lane top. Nuclear and Chei may arrive just in the nick of time as H2K and IgNar chunk down that tower to about 50%.
It's just so hard for H2K to play the game right now, because if you look at the lanes, from level 1 even, Misfits push in the top lane, as we talked about with the Rumble. Lucian, good matchup against the Corki, that's why PowerOfEvil went for it as a counter pick. And then bot lane Xayah Rakan against the Braum, who's trying to neutralize the lane. We see a fight again.
We do indeed. The entrance goes in, gets a knock-up. Maxlore and Jankos about to find one another. Blast cone over the wall. Alphari's taking some damage from Jankos and Odo. Equalizer splits the two under the tower, and Maxlore, with that red buff, is looking for a target. Odo gets slowed, and the fangs get sunk in with the venomous bite. Body slam comes out. Maxlore shut down, and that was a lot of burst. PowerOfEvil's got the culling available, but no target low enough to kill, and that was a great play by Odo.
Yeah, big play from Odoamne. They're saving the day for H2K. They're getting something in return. They could have gone horribly wrong there. Maybe getting more.
So cheeky. Why?
What do you recall there?
Recall there.
Alphari. Anyway, top lane, Chei just died.
All right, 2v2. The quickness is thrown down. IgNar's running for his life.
Oh,
the storm comes out.
Woo!
H2K.
Big plays all around. Bot lane, Odoamne with the play, and then Alphari with such a risky recall. He goes down, but then instantly back to top lane. Chei went down, and then Nuclear thought he could get that kill. So there's a little bit of an H2K logo on top here. We're a bit biased in the EU LCS. But apart from that, people died. I tell you guys, rewind the VODs here, go back, watch the big plays.
Oh, that was fantastic. Action across the map. H2K definitely in support of team play here. Every member of their team has conceded a kill to Misfits in variations.
At least they all die, you know?
And what I'm happy to see, Xayah and Rakan winning the 2v2 as you're meant to with those two.
Yeah, I wonder if Nuclear thought the ulti from H2K would be on cooldown, because as soon as he flashes forward, H2K can click the ulti, you can't target him. And then you can't actually burst him, or you can't get that last hit onto him. Also the flash from H2K after to then line up when he pulls back the feathers. IgNar is baiting a little bit because Maxlore is around.
Two-man knock-up, looking for the cocoon from Maxlore. Needs to be max range again, and this one, stand behind me, gets Chei to safety.
So all the pushing lanes for Misfits are currently ahead in CS. They've been getting early kills, and only that big play from Odoamne has actually given H2K anything in return. Alphari might die now. Remember, guys, no flash. Already had one death that we had to flame him for a little bit. But top and tower will go in favor of Misfits.
Deservedly.
Yeah, if you recall right there, you deserve it.
Yep. First tower blood picked up by Misfits. And their duo lane up top. Body slam connects. Equalizer's putting some damage down. Alphari gets the shield. Turns it round. Is this a double? He's overheating. Needs one more hit. Flame Spitter roasting Odo. He's running for his life and the flash won't chase.
Oh, Chei was around as well, but couldn't really join. Uncoordinated attempt here from H2K. They didn't actually time their stun from Odoamne with the engage from Jankos, because Odoamne was not in range. And then when Jankos went in and could have knocked back Alphari into that stun, they could have kept him under control. They didn't do it. Chei, though, round 2.
All right, Chei wants to come in. Another tower dive potential. The exhaust will buy time. Odo's not in. Chei takes a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3 shots, and not enough to go down. Odoamne gets the kill.
This time Odoamne was in range to actually land the stun. Maxlore with the Rift held. A lot of stuff happening in this game here. 12 minutes in, 9 kills, arrow flying in as well.
It has to hit someone. It does indeed. PowerOfEvil's the target, but there's no one around to follow up. Rift Herald gets summoned into the middle lane, and she'll get the boop to knock down the third turret of the game. The, what's that, 5,000 gold lead at 13 minutes, Deficio. That means it's a lot.
That's a lot. What is the average goal lead at 13 minutes?
Paging stats team on duty. What is the average gold lead for teams at 13 minutes when a team is in the lead? This is a horrible request, and Deficio asked it.
To be fair, you requested it. I was asking the viewers.
I did. I am hearing from the stats team that will take a while. We will get back to you with an update later.
Should we settle for 15 minutes?
No, because you said 13.
Oh, yeah, fine. We get to 13.
We've got very smart stats team.
All right, we'll get to 13
we'll see what they can do. So as it goes.
After, I want to know how many wards on average will IgNar kill between 13 minutes and 17 minutes in games where Misfits are on blue side and he's playing Rek'Sai.
Now you're taking the piss. Okay, now we've crossed the line.
Why? It's just a request.
We've crossed the line, and we'll have to investigate that for next week's show. Maxlore will get chunked out ever so slightly.
Oh, the Grump.
As the Grump decided not to attack Chei.
So, bot lane, I feel like every single time we look at the top laners, they're about to get killed under their own tower. Odoamne's been under a lot of pressure, then he turned it around against Alphari. Jankos kind of went in there, messed it all up for Odoamne, sadly.
Yep.
With some uncoordinated plays. Now, Misfits will just take down his bot lane tower and get even more ahead in terms of gold. H2K will trade though, so super open map right now. Everyone on Misfits have been farming well, they've been getting kills, they're all like extremely strong individually. H2K will have to completely outplay them to win this game.
Well, super open map if you're a Misfits fan or player. 4 towers to 1. Look at the vision there from H2K. Yes, they've spotted Alphari running up, and H2K, they got there first, but they need to get more.
I just want to add as well, H2K is the team that normally gives away the least towers in the early game in the EU LCS. In this game here, they've been giving away a ton of towers, simply due to all the lanes being pushed in and some of the plays being set up by Misfits. Let's see what else happens right now. Odoamne, as we talked about, skip the Hexdrinker. You need to just rush to your 2 items, the Hydra and the Trinity Force, and then you can start being a super strong split pusher. Dramatic ending.
Dramatic ending.
To that point.
Sets me up for 2 dramatic points. First one is already a dragon respawning, which means it was taken 20 minutes quicker than the game 1.
And it was a first dragon. Drake.
It was. You see the value there, right? Second thing, Misfits had the largest gold difference at 15 minutes this game. All gold differences for the split.
What about 13 minutes?
Their previous record was 2.9k. This time was closer to 5, so significantly larger. Our stats team are working on the 13 minutes, and they wish you to know they're not happy with the request. As IgNar goes down the quickness onto Chei. He's going to be able to put the wall up and dash to Jankos. Jankos is going to back away, and it's just Misfits. They've got the run of the map. They've got a huge gold lead. They've got item advantages.
They have a Rek'Sai who can always engage fights. Our Chei gets interrupted by what I consider one of the most useless spells in the game. Rek'Sai Q. Only good for interrupting recalls.
That's it.
For now.
Okay, so you've talked about H2K. They need a massive outplay. They need to do something spectacular with Jankos or Odo or Nuclear. How do Misfits use this lead? It's so early on. Let's take a look. Febi's forced to use his package to escape.
Well, so you can keep pushing in 3 lanes at the same time, which means you should actually have H2K push so far back on the map that H2K cannot farm their own jungle. So at this point, what you do is you push in these lanes, you take away jungle camps, you get a few hits on these turrets, and you just kind of deny them resources to get yourself further and further ahead. Because you will need the Baron to probably close out the game. It's not alive yet, so all you have to do is just maximize your farm and minimize their farm, which is exactly what Misfits have been doing. Taking away these camps, you can see Jankos. He's looking for something in his own jungle. It's not there.
Yeah, been cleared away, and that means Alphari's got himself a +15 advantage. Around 10 for BOE, around 30 for Hunt Summer. And Misfits continue to push ahead. It's so weird.
Grump is alive. He wants it. Jankos, he's going for that Grump. Finally, he can get something.
Huge gold lead so early on.
Oh, he wants it so badly.
You run out of the objectives.
Oh, it gets denied.
Available. Knockup is the caught out, the culling available to PowerOfEvil. And Jankos is already dead for a Grump. That was the target. PoE's not done. The culling through the exhaust. Man, that was amazing!
And it was all for Grump!
Febiven's running for his life as he joins the fight. Maxlore repels up and down, and the Grump lives!
No, Maxlore! It just gave you 2 kills! He's so greedy.
Man, this is exciting.
But see, this is again why you always want to push these lanes and then you want to take away the jungle, because then if someone, being it maybe Jankos in this story, sneaks in to try and get something in that jungle, that's not his cookies. Why is the hand in that cookie jar? Smack, he gets one on the face and he's out of there.
Well, get caught in the cookie jar, and that means Misfits take their first dragon of the game. Here's a replay of the Grump Greed.
It's the Grump Greed or bait. Braum clearly on Misfits' side, and as you can see, guys, it's very easy for Misfits with all these lanes pushed up to just engage on H2K. Nice flash from PowerOfEvil as well
so
into the collar. That was a nice played.
I got so excited by the play, I actually ran out of words. I ended up just saying that was like amazing. It's like the least unique, least exciting way of explaining a play. Oh, by the way, I got an update for you. The average gold lead for a team in the lead at 13 minutes is 1.4 thousand gold.
And this one, 5,000?
This was more than 2.5 times the amount.
Oh, they're fighting, Trevor. Say words.
Hextech Ultimatum comes down. IgNar gets a knock-up onto Jankos. Jankos needs the barrel if he wants to disengage. Pins Maxlore against the wall, and Maxlore doesn't care. He gets another kill onto Odo. H2K are falling further behind. Body slam onto IgNar. IgNar's just going to dash over the wall. He's not going to get run down by anyone else. The Brambleback is enlisted. Misfits have hired H2K's jungle to kill H2K. PowerOfEvil's going to dash forward and eats a big one for his troubles.
Once again, H2K not allowed to get anything. Jankos, you got to be careful, man.
Maxlore, that's not the angle you wanted. Ashe is available for nuclear, so a squishy target oversteps. There's someone available. Also, Alphari's in the bottom lane with no TP.
Okay, but he's stealing away camps, so it's fine. Jankos might try and get a wolf camp for himself. It is alive at the moment, and only Alphari down there to try and actually kill it. So he's on his way. Will he get a camp? Bam. He gets it. One camp for Jankos.
That's it. This time it didn't cost him his life.
I guess that's a good thing. Oh, level 11 as well. Look at the bonus.
All right, Deficio.
There's no blue buff!
Deficio, 15 buffs have spawned this game, blue buffs and red buffs. How many of them have Misfits secured? You can play along too if you're watching at home or in the audience. 15 in total, how many have Misfits secured?
I'm saying 12.
You don't have enough fingers to show me on two hands. 11 buffs have gone to Misfits, and only 4 have gone to H2K. Come on, that's impressive. Give me something.
I'm nodding at you.
Thank you. Well, they don't know that. No,
so it doesn't matter. We're only casting for us, not for them.
That is how much control Misfits have had over this game.
Yes, because they have 3 pushing lanes. They can just keep pushing and take the enemy jungle. They don't even care about their own jungle anymore. You can just sit there and do nothing. They just want the enemies. And now Baron is alive. That's a really easy objective soon for them to go for. And then if you're H2K, you have to take that Hail Mary fight where it's like, we're probably going to lose this fight.
Let's find out. The Cocoon falls short. Maxlore gets chunked down. And I'm looking at the vision. A couple of wards being placed forward. The blue trinket, by the way, on the minimap is in between Rakan and Gragas.
It's right there at the Raptor camp. Look at the minimap, how it's turned upside down.
Yep, that's how you know.
Not the same on the red side. The blue trinket will look the same. I think there might...
Riot, please.
There might be one down in the bot lane tri-brush near where Camille is. Could actually be a blue trinket.
We'll have to find out. Thank you, observers.
No, it's not. No. Never mind.
Deficio lied. Okay, it's fine.
We'll check next time. That's a problem, you know, because it looks the same on red side but not on blue. It's actually unfair.
It is. Advantage blue side in terms of minimap icons. All right, Hail Mary play is what H2K is looking for. Whether that's a catch, whether that's a Baron, whether that's Misfits, you know, not pushing their lead. But now we need to judge how Misfits play with this lead in the late game.
Exactly, and remember, again, when you run so many squishy members against things like, you know, a Gragas engage into still pretty decent damage from a 2-item Corki, if Misfits are being sloppy, if they just start up a Baron, take some damage from it, don't actually have any map pressure, Jankos might find a good engage that can net some kills to H2K, which then buys them more time to get further into the game and try and catch up. So while it is a massive advantage that you should never be able to lose the game with, you can still mess it up pretty badly.
And also, specifically because it's the Baron.
So they're on it now. But this little ward outside, I always see it, I always talk about it. You hide it around the corner so the control ward doesn't actually deactivate it, and therefore you know they're on Baron. You should always sweep outside.
Always sweep outside, always sweep inside. Just sweep everywhere. Keep your home clean, especially when you own the Rift. Misfits peel away from the Baron pit.
And now they couldn't get Baron, so that bought a little bit of time for H2K. They're trying to just get like at least 2 fully items completed on all the carries.
Got themselves the Trinity Forces on both Odoamne and Febiven.
They swept it. There you go, PowerOfEvil. Thank you.
Here we go, a little bit late, potentially.
Oh, he's got Brandon.
PowerOfEvil's going to dash away, body slam, connects. Oh, look at the flash into the barrel. There's no tower to fall back to, though. Exhaust for exhaust in the culling. PowerOfEvil puts a lot of damage down, almost wins in the 1v2. Maxlore turns it around. Teleport comes out for Alphari. He's caught inside the baby cage, getting burned and roasted and cut down by Odoamne. The Glacial Fissure prevents Maxlore going in, but the entrance knocks up 2. Alphari's not done. Now he is. Odoamne kills him. Hunt Summer's caught out with the exhaust, puts the damage and the feathers out. Ashe arrow into the face, prevents
he's gonna kill him.
Summer goes down. Everybody's dying. IgNar gets tagged. H2K are acing Misfits.
Trevor, we just talked about it. You have so many squishy champions on the side of Misfits. If you play sloppy, if you make a mistake, Jankos can find and engage. H2K can actually win a fight. It's after they didn't kill the ward in the first place. They got to stop Baron. PowerOfEvil then steps in to place a ward without knowing where Jankos and Febiven is. He gets jumped, and yes, it's an even fight. It looks like an even fight almost, because PowerOfEvil is so far ahead. But now, Misfits can't actually win the next fight because Odoamne is strong on this Camille. He's been able to catch up in farm. He's been getting experience. He gets now 4 kills in this fight as well. Let's see what happens actually for the remaining. Nice stun from Odoamne into, of course, the kill onto both Maxlore and Alphari. And now, a little bit late, Misfits dual lane joins, but they are 3v2, and Odoamne goes in with another one.
Such great play. H2K hit themselves the quadra. We saw in the picture-in-picture there that Infernal Drake picked up, and Alphari Barney not a happy man.
Ring the bell. Shame, shame, shame. If you're going to lose this game, Misfits.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Shame. It has rung once. You need 3 shame rings in order to lose this lead.
Still 6k gold ahead. They are around the Baron once more. They don't really have too much control in H2K's jungle. They can still start the Baron to force H2K to come near to fight them. And you still have this Rumble ulti that can be very impactful. 2 items, though, on Odoamne. That is the spike he's looking for.
No teleport, Deficio. He's a mile and a half away. Baron's down to 4,000. Misfits don't want to go for that risky 50-50. Knock up onto Jankos. Chei puts out the Unbreakable, and Jankos splits up the fight. There's an equalizer coming down as Odo's re-engaged. So a couple ultimates traded, but no benefit gained by Misfits, and H2K take their second tower.
Oh, so I don't think Misfits actually knew exactly where Odoamne was on the map, seeing as they stopped the Baron so quickly. As soon as 4 guys showed up from H2K, IgNar did not find a good engage to actually start the fight. Febiven now as well on Corki. We always talk about the 4-item spike on Corki now. It used to be some Trinity Force power spike in the past, but now, again, it's rapid fire cannon, it's Infinity Edge, it's static shift. What he's done this game is said, I can't get quickly enough to Trinity Force and Infinity Edge because they're so expensive, so he actually swapped in a static shift in between to get some more power here in the mid game, try and get back. Let's see, Baron started again. Misfits. Not really having control in the mid lane. That's always step number 1, is you need mid lane control before you go in towards the Baron. And you can see how it's Odoamne just sitting there pushing out the wave, and it stops Misfits because it means H2K can engage from multiple angles onto them. And now Misfits have to go back, just kill the wave once again. It's a little bit of a walk of shame.
And for the first time in about 14 minutes, H2K have pushed out past their own side of the jungle. Albeit they had nothing in there. Great Ashe arrow down onto Hunt Summer. That's going to take him out from long range. There, the storm was available, but he's caught out, and that's 2 more kills to Odoamne. Febiven somehow was caught out. I didn't quite see how. IgNar trying to run back. The supporters coming down. Equalizers available for Alphari, and H2K continue to fight. The quickness is used to charm them up. H2K, but IgNar's taken down.
Oh, Trevor.
The greatest.
It's shame number 2 now.
Ding, ding, ding.
We're almost getting there, but look at that. H2K, is that a free Baron right in front of you?
Completely free with an actual tank on the front line.
And let's highlight again that in 13 minutes, the average goal lead the team will have when they are ahead is 1,500 in the EU LCS. We had Misfits sitting with 5,000.
That was such a great callback to Deficio.
And H2K just picked up Baron. So Febiven with his package engages onto PowerOfEvil. PowerOfEvil is very impressed with it, and then he ends up going down. Chei is in there for the fight. Gotta remember now, Xayah's already dead at this point. Didn't use her ulti on the arrow. Dragon, stop laughing next to me. I'm trying to talk about the replay.
And Alphari just get run down. It was eventually a 4 versus 2. And this allows H2K to pick up the Baron. The shame bell has rung twice.
Is it 3 almost at this point? Keep it at 2 for now. Odoamne's getting caught.
Well, he is indeed. Flashes over the wall so the cocoon doesn't connect. And Misfits, they try to play the Death Bush game, but it ends up costing them a turret in the mid lane. It might cost them more. H2K, they've not backed away yet, and those recalls are only just completing.
Oh man, H2K getting that mid lane inhib. Oh, let's see that. Gets away from
it. Survives. Jankos with a defensive ultimate. This is a 5-on-4, remember. Odoamne shoving in that bottom lane, and H2K are in the lead.
It feels like almost a game ago that H2K was actually behind, but it's only about, what, 10 minutes? Not even that, because this is the first time they're in the lead. So like 1 minute.
Well, Equalizer was used already. Alphari threw it down to hold off the first onslaught into the inhibitor. This could be the biggest comeback of the summer split at 10,000 gold. I'll have that exact number confirmed shortly. As it stands, H2K, Baron, for another 2 minutes. They're not done. They're looking at more towers.
Well, he's getting some damage on it for now. Misfits, no Rumble ulti was used by Alphari to kill the minions before. And at this point, as a team, your communication might start breaking down because a lot of players are suddenly feeling very frustrated with the fact that they have lost this massive advantage. We also have to then turn around and say H2K actually found the overextending members. They engaged well, they won the fights after. Some fantastic individual plays from Odoamne on this Camille. And it's a lot of credit to them for getting back in this game. It looked done.
I was getting excited about a game 3. I was looking forward to another matchup, but Misfits get punished super hard.
It's painful to look at.
Look at that gold difference. That must be, what, 9, maybe just shy of 10,000 gold at its peak.
Getting up there at least. At this point, the only positive thing for Misfits is you have a Cloud Drake. And that does mean a lot.
Not at all. Just to confirm, if H2K win this, it will be the biggest comeback from a gold lead at 20 at that scale. And they've got themselves 2.5K in the lead. It's an Infernal Drake.
Should we get them on the biggest goal lead at 13 minutes with the biggest comeback after? Or do we
can
keep
do
it
that.
20?
No, we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
When they close it out with their triple Infernal Drakes.
Ooh, is that a GA on Odoamne now? He was already hard to kill before. Camille obviously lost some value in terms of a team fighting, but one of the things you can do is use your ulti very early in a fight, because obviously it does give you quite some advantages and buffs when you do actually use it to try and take down that one guy right in front of you. Extra damage as well.
And then? You said you can use it early in your
then you already killed a guy, and then it's a 4v5, and you're kind of going to win the game, right? That's what I've learned this game, is if Odoamne is in a team fight, H2K wins the game.
Well, that seems to be the case. 39 games in a row where PowerOfEvil has given up at least 1 death. To, in fact, this game. H2K now going to knock over another inhibitor in this bottom lane.
This is the kind of game where, again, now we start getting hope for H2K. We start believing again after being let down last week. We're like, that was a pretty sick comeback. You obviously didn't have to kind of be the other guy saying, why did it fall so far behind in the first place? You know, there were maybe some risky drafts and plays kind of went the wrong way for them. But the comeback in itself was very impressive from H2K.
Well, they're still going to close this one out. Defensive flash from Chei. Super minions pouring through 2 lanes as Odo is going to use that hook shot to get over the wall into Misfits' base. Odoamne is bringing the conga line of Baron, super minions rather, into the Nexus turrets, and Misfits peel away. So inner turret top will now fall. That's tower number 8. And only the inhibitor in the top lane stands between the Nexus and the rest of H2K.
Let's see here. IgNar is the man we're looking at for the engage. Flash is ready. Ulti is ready. Ulti first into Flash, so you can cancel your own animation. You're in the face of the enemy, and then you can use your W as well to close the gap or get extra CC. It is a very good tool to always get to the back line. The problem is, can anyone follow? It's just a Rumble ulti at this point. but there's a locket on the side of Chei to try and mitigate some of that damage. There it is!
There's the engage, that catches a knockup, but the Unbreakable's blocking so much damage. Featherstorm comes up, Blade Caller brings them back. Odoamne, he's lost his GA. Hextech Ultimatum still available, but Maxlore's low, and so is the rest of Misfits. Nuclear has flashed forward. The knockup is simply too late. It's 2 down for the Misfits. They've turned it around onto Febiven though. Maxlore survived. How on earth did he get out? H2K, they lost the fight.
They actually lost the fight right there under the tower as well. We just talked about the IgNar engage. He used everything. He got onto the backline of H2K. Ulti came down from Alphari, and I think Odoamne was caught under that tower. Ended up taking a lot of extra damage. But that was the big engage from Misfits. The flash will now be on cooldown. Look at it once again. You see him fly in onto Ansama, then he instantly uses ult into W, gets onto the backline of H2K, and with Odoamne caught on the tower, they can't really help him because the tower is still alive, and Nuclear, while he's doing a lot of damage and actually flashing aggressively forward, we like to see that. Simply lacks, like what, tiny bit of AD to also kill Alphari at the very end, but I think just the fight on the tower after the engage from IgNar became a little bit too much for H2K to handle.
So the third ding of the shame bell has yet to ring for Misfits.
Fine, it remains for now. The Nexus dying might have to be the third one.
Well, we'll see. They won that team fight. Having a touch more hope. I can hear the H2K squad on stage, animated, yelling as they're getting set up. Okay, 20 seconds until Baron. Odo has teleport to join the fight, and he's got an exposed inhibitor in the middle lane.
Alphari with TP and home guards sitting in that base right now. Odoamne is moving in behind PowerOfEvil.
All right, PowerOfEvil's caught out. No flash, remember. The ultimatum comes down. PoE's down. Odoamne is legendary. 10 kills to his name of his team's 14. The inhibitor falls in a 5-on-4. They're going to use these super minis in the bottom lane to try take down the Nexus turrets.
And no Lucian for another 40 seconds. Baron is alive, so if H2K wants to play it safe, they can just go back, kill the Baron with the 3 Infernal Drakes as well. Wait for 2 lanes of super minis to push down, buff up those lanes, and then suddenly Misfit should not be allowed to leave the base at all, because an Elder Drake also spawning in 1 minute and 40 seconds with your triple Infernal Drakes. That is value in the late game, Trevor.
Absolutely the case. Nobody from Misfits around to challenge.
Odoamne gotta be a little bit careful, because the one play they can make is actually go kill him, and they're trying. But he has Baron, recall, and this Trinket just outside.
Yep, definitely pointing the wrong direction. Odoamne is gonna finish the recall, get to safety, pick himself up yet another BF sword. As to that damage.
And obviously, again, a lot of the players on H2K have been part of this comeback, but man, like, you look at Odoamne in some way 1v9ing this game for being so far down. It feels like everything he's been doing has just netted in multiple kills for them. He's actually now going 1v5.
All right, GA is not available to him. I think that's on cooldown, shut down. That's your fault.
I'm telling you, that caster curse, it's legit.
You threw that on him. You're praising Odo, his calls, his plays, and then he gives up. The killing spree. That one is Deficio's fault.
I'll take the full blame for that one.
All right, the third bell yet to ring. And all this gives is a little more time to Misfits, because they are now the team that's down 5,000 gold, down Baron buff, down their base. But mistakes from H2K can bring Misfits back into this game.
So Odoamne, 25 seconds, TP up. Baron in favor of H2K, Elder Drake. 10 seconds. It might be the last defense from Misfits. If they lose that with the triple Infernos, it should be impossible to defend, even with the 2 Nexus turrets.
It absolutely should. And that's what Misfits will be hoping for.
Febi with the package again.
H2K have already proven that miracles can happen. H2K punishing Misfits. Maxlore and IgNar waiting in the side lane. They're looking to engage. PoE's going to dash forward, and Flash is still on cooldown. Several members on both sides as Febi's going to keep shooting out those rockets. Look at Odo back on the map. His GA still on cooldown, by the way. So he needs to be a little careful as this engage potentially breaks out, Deficio.
And again, you can see how H2K, they're not risking the same thing. Another meme in the past was that H2K late game fighting. And not only the Baron, but also the team fight, where suddenly they could lose it all again. Febi,
Whoa, look at that damage.
PowerOfEvil, but he wants that tower so badly.
The tower's the focus. Tower's going to fall. Culling comes up from PowerOfEvil, gets Febiven down to half HP. Odo's joining in on the flanks, and the super minions are starting to make their way into the base. This is the final fight. If Misfits want to turn this around, they need to become Spartans. IgNar's going to flash forward with the quickness. That's a charmer to Nuclear. The equalizer's pretty good, but Nuclear's got so much hit points. So much is blocked by Chei. Maxlore is down. Jankos survives. It's a double kill for Odo. H2K, Ace, Misfits. They've got Baron empowered minions onto the Nexus turrets. The turrets are falling, and H2K bounce back from the largest goal deficit at 20 minutes, all split long.
And Trevor, Misfits get the third one right there. In the end, they had everything. They were pushing everywhere. They were taking every camp. Jankos and 2 other members from H2K died because he tried to kill a Grump. That happened this game. This game, that happened.
Ding, ding, ding. Shame, shame, shame. An 8,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. A 4,600 gold lead at 13 minutes, Deficio.
And Odoamne in this game, with the help, of course, of his teammates to set up some of those early fights, was the man who picked up all the kills. And he used them extremely well. Multiple times was he the guy getting in, killing one guy early in the fight. Always being down in a split pushing position, applying even more pressure for H2K once they got ahead. Jankos found some openings on the Gragas. It's crazy, we're actually looking at the scores right now on H2K, like Febiven 3-4-7. That doesn't sound like a guy who just won a game.
Nope.
The AD carry 2-2-8. Okay, that seems fair enough. Your jungler's 2-5-8. Like again, just look at the KDS.
It's such an entertaining game.
Then obviously Odoamne's on 12 kills. So.
Look, the swings, the back and forth, it was all a bit crazy. And when you look at actually both games, there is so much to analyze and so many things to discuss, right?
Yeah.
But look at H2K on screen right now. Nuclear and Chei, big smiles on the other side of the stage. Misfits with Hussein. Their 4-series win streak is broken. Cross-group play against H2K, and maybe they were marginally the favorites today. Ever so slightly. Maybe if you base it purely off last week's performance, I don't even know.
I mean, it's so hard to say with a lot of the top teams in Europe because they are very close in level.
H2 what? H2K indeed.
Thanks, Trevor, for adding that
for that one. Probably, definitely a happy man with the win. Definitely going to have some discussions with how they happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
It's that weird feeling of, yeah, we were down like 5K gold at 13 minutes, but we won the game.
Yeah, they did indeed. I give you guys an update. Jankos, of course, just finished celebrating with his team. He will be joining the analyst desk in a few moments' time. So we... oh, great. I'm hearing that Play the Series is ready. We're going to announce it. It's Odoamne.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Galio in game number 1.
That's why he got it. The Galio performance was spot on.
Odo, I know you can hear me. Congratulations, you're player of the series.
Nice Galio.
There we go. The Camille at the end of that. 14-3-10. 73% kill participation. So his team got 19 kills, and he was involved in 14 of them.
Yeah, and he picked up 12 of them as well.
Ridiculous.
For himself in the end with the quarter kill up top lane. It kind of started the comeback for H2K. Overall, though, I mean, very fun game to watch in so many ways.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it's such a strange feeling to have after we basically gave it to Misfits. We said, you know, with this advantage, they've already won this game. Game 3 is happening.
Mentally, I was preparing game 3. I was like, what are the storylines? When do I start asking about it? And then it just turns around. Look, we've talked a lot about H2K. Let's turn our attention to Misfits. Unreal that one mistake or 2 mistakes in that top lane allowed H2K to get right back into it, right? That's phenomenal. But how do those mistakes happen? Those are the things that Misfits have to go back to the drawing board and figure out. I
mean, and that's kind of the weird thing to say now, but when you have a loss like this, like going back and looking at the VOD as a team, like the VOD review section with your coach as well, some of it might suck a little bit because you end up losing the game, but at the same time, like, you should be able to very clearly kind of look at,
I ask,
where did we mess up?
Challenging question. Game 1, PowerOfEvil goes toe-to-toe with Odoamne in that bottom lane at like 48 minutes, right? He loses the trade.
Patient.
Baron goes to H2K. Game 2, PowerOfEvil's fed ahead, and he was the initial Misfits member that was caught in that 2v1 in the top lane. Is it too early without watching closer, looking at everything else that maybe
it's already too early because in the second game, a lot of it comes down from the fact that they actually had absolutely no deep vision in the H2K jungle in the first place. After they've had it before, then lost it when Baron spawned, they started skipping some steps, and then suddenly him going in, placing that one ward, like in 9 out of 10 situations, he will not die from that.
Right.
It's like he snuck in, placed it over the wall, and instantly dashed away. Like he couldn't have played it almost safer. But obviously, because he had absolutely no vision in the first place,
he was punished for it.
You could get punished, and that's exactly what he did. So it was also a really good read from Febiven and Jankos, going like, hey, let's rush top lane. This guy, he doesn't see us. Maybe he's gonna push or something, and we can then jump him. Because we talked about the one way, squishy members, Jankos finds the engage. It could happen.
And it did happen.
It did happen.
And that means we got the ding, ding, ding shame bell for Misfits because H2K took the series with that great comeback after the 13 minutes.